Sometimes she just needs to tune out the world. So tune in to iHeartRadio. So much more than just the best radio stations from all over the country. Download or open the free iHeartRadio app today.
I never could understand the backlash against Anna Kournikova. I never understood the backlash. I know that she was never the top tennis player in the world. Let's face it, that's not why people were watching Anna Kournikova. The reason why was she was among the most beautiful women anyone had ever seen before or since. Still continues to be that. News came about, and we should be happy to hear this, I suppose. We should be joyous and wishing well that Anna Kournikova and Enrique Iglesias have given birth to twins. Nobody knew that Anna was expecting, except basically herself and Enrique Iglesias. They've kept their relationship. In fact, people don't even know if they're married or not. They've been that private, which I'm kind of, perhaps in a way that's refreshing. On the other hand, we're talking about Anna Kournikova and Enrique Iglesias. Beautiful people, yes. But are they still, even in 2017, celebrities? I mean, the day is kind of past for those two. Anna's not going to be the top-ranked tennis player. No, that's not going to happen, Enrique Iglesias, I guess he could have a hit sometime, but that's not, what's on the horizon for them is building off of past glories and all that, and hopefully being a happy couple raising two beautiful babies that have been gone into the world. But the problem here is that, yes, for the somewhat superficial male mind, one less fantasy. Yeah, one less fantasy. I guess you could still say that, oh, I love kids. Oh, they may not be married yet. Oh, I wouldn't even care in the first place. But folks, this just reinforces. Maxim magazine once had Anna Kournikova on the cover and said, "You have 2 wishes left." Now, that fantasy, it's going to be a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult. On the other hand, where one fantasy closes, another reappears. Danica Patrick has now broken up with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now this one, I think you got to get in shape big time if you're going to be pursuing Danica Patrick. But this is a fantasy that you're getting and you're thinking, this one's legitimate to dream about. As legitimate as celebrity gazing could possibly be. Because first of all, Danica is going to be more accessible after she has her final 2 races next year. Second of all, Danica always, it seemed, liked older men. She once married a man who was 16 years older than she was. Yeah. So that's on the horizon. As I said, you got to get into shape for Danica Patrick. I will admit that. But then you say, we just said that Anna Kournikova and Enrique Iglesias' days are behind them. What about Danica? I'm still not sold that those are going to be the 2 final races of Danica Patrick's career for whatever. I just am not sold on it. I remember Jeff Gordon wasn't going to drive any more than he was driving in the place of Little League. I remember that. I just think that her brand, her name, it's going to mean something. If nothing else, I absolutely see Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind the mic on the races. I absolutely see that. I could see Danica doing that too. Watch out, Darrell Waltrip. Anyway, and that would be a shame because I do like Boogity, 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 and Daryl Waltrip is quite accessible and such. But anyway, I would point out that Danica was a no-show at the NASCAR award ceremony in November, where Stenhouse was being praised for making the playoffs of the, what is it now, Monster Energy Cup. And so that led to some speculation and blah, blah, blah. She's putting out wine now. I got to find, wait a minute. You know, Sarah Evans did marry a sports talk show host. Okay, I admit he had won a national championship as a quarterback at Alabama, but nevertheless, I mean, he's got that in common with Jay Barker, right? What is the FCC ruling on? Yeah, you can. I've Corbett Canyon, I've done that. What's the word? Thunderbird. They've advertised on radio before. She'd probably be coming into Bristol. I don't know, this is where I need to be getting my, black vest on and having my Wookiee beside me while I ask, you think that a guy like me and a NASCAR driver could, I don't need Luke Skywalker's negativity right now. I don't need that. I am Marky Bilson, Tri-City Sports Now. In the next hour, we'll talk a little recruiting, talk a little bit more about ETSU and Detroit Mercy, and we will also talk a little bit about the story of All for Tennessee, what Jeremy Pruitt has to do. I did want to point, and some other grab bags, I did want to point this out. There is a lot of speculation right now that Nashville, yes, Nashville, could be getting a MLS franchise. And what would that mean to the Tri-Cities? Because Nashville is expected to land an MLS expansion club tomorrow. That is being reported. In fact, Sports Illustrated has announced this. So, soccer, I'm surprised how big it has gotten around here. We've had Bo Ishida and Johnny Sutherland from the ETSU soccer team. They've been making some news around here, and really the facilities, quite good at ETSU and such. But soccer is taking something of a hold here in Upper East Tennessee. And what I'm wondering about is this. If and when Nashville gets that MLS team, they're going to need a minor league affiliate. Well, why not the Tri-Cities? Why not have that as part of the United Soccer League, which is the feeder system to the MLS? Looking at the franchises that are currently in the United Soccer League, they are mostly in markets that are bigger than the Tri-Cities. I will give you that. In fact, I think that Nashville is going to have a team as well for a season or two before the MLS comes in. But if you look at where the franchises are, many of them are located around the Tri-Cities. On top of that, this market size, which is approximately 92nd in TV market size, there are about 215, give or take, TV markets, so it's a top 100 market. Rio Grande Valley, Harlingen, Brownsville, McAllen and Edinburgh, that area, also spread out, much like the Tri-Cities are, and also similar. I think that market is 87th. And it's not close to anything. I mean, we're talking about the bowels of South Texas, where it gets 100 degrees at night, right on the Mexican border. That's not near anything but Mexico. If that area can have a team, so the logic goes, as well as, say, Austin, which, believe it or not, is about 4 hours minimum, and probably closer to 5, depending on where you live from the Rio Grande Valley. I know, I used to be the announcer of the Rio Grande Valley White Wings, okay? I know this market quite well. It was a minor league baseball team. If Rio Grande Valley could have a team, why not the Tri-Cities? Got the facilities for it there at ETSU, and there'll be a team that's close by that you could get players from. And so that would be a good marketing aspect as well for the new Nashville franchise. I think it's exciting, and I always talk about wanting minor pro sports. I've always thought AA baseball, or for that matter, an ECHL hockey team, and I still think about this, arena football. But if the first step to that more cosmopolitan sports atmosphere is the United Soccer League, aligned with Nashville, hey, finally, just finally, Tri-Cities would be ahead of the curve instead of behind it. Hour 2 is underway. Yeah, a lot of talk more about football, more about recruiting. You know it, Tri-Cities Sports Now.
WBNB Irwin, 1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities.